Dear students, today we are going to discuss about the mean free path of a gas molecule. Subject is physics. Mean free path lambda, that is indicated by lambda. And here we know that according to kinetic theory of gases, all the gas molecules are moves with very large velocities even at ordinary temperatures. So here the molecules are moving in opposite manner in all directions with all possible velocities, and therefore the path is a zigzag motion, zigzag path, that is zigzag path. Like this. So the path traveled by the molecule is known as the path traveled by the molecule between the two successive collisions or consecutive collisions with uniform velocity or constant velocity is a straight line. This is the straight line path. Therefore, it can be indicated by lambda 1. Since the gas molecules exert no forces except their collision. So therefore, the path travelled by the molecule is known as a free path. Free path, the path within the uniform velocity or within the two successive collisions or in a straight line. This is known as free path. The average distance travelled by the molecule between two successive collisions is known as mean free path. What do you mean by mean free path? The average distance travelled by the molecule between any two successive collisions is known as mean free path of a molecule. Isn't it? Okay. Therefore, here lambda 1, lambda 2, lambda 3, lambda 4, lambda 5 and lambda 6. A, B, C, D, E, F, G and etc. So here the path travelled by the two molecules. The path travelled by the two molecules is known as straight line, is known as a free path and also a straight line or uniform velocity. The particle is moving between these two points is a straight line or uniform velocity. Therefore, here lambda 1, lambda 2, lambda 3, lambda 4 up to lambda n are the number of free paths. Number of free paths in a collision. Number of free paths, that is lambda 1 plus lambda 2 plus lambda 3 plus lambda 4 etc. That is equal to C bar T. Because here C bar T is equal to lambda, because distance is equal to C velocity into time. We know that the basic equation, isn't it? So here lambda 1 plus lambda 2, lambda 3, lambda 4, lambda up to lambda n are the number of free paths. And here, so therefore, so this is known as the distance travelled, the average distance travelled by the particle, where C bar is the mean velocity of the molecule and T, in which T is the time in which they travel. So therefore, here lambda is equal to, we know that lambda is equal to lambda 1 plus lambda 2 plus lambda 3 plus lambda 4 up to lambda n. So divided by n. So that is equal to S. That is equal to C bar T divided by N equals S by N. So here lambda is equal to, that is known as the average free path of the molecules, equals here C bar T divided by N, where N is known as the number of collisions occur per distance. Here S is the distance in which the number of collisions occur, total number of collisions occur, isn't it? So this is known as average free path of the molecules, S divided by N, isn't it? Now we are going to discuss about the Clausius expression for mean free path. Clausius expression for mean free path. Clausius expression. Free path. Clausius. So here, according to Clausius, here the gas molecules are travel in different directions with all possible velocities. So therefore, according to Clausius, all the molecules are rest. All the molecules are rest because the gas molecules contains number of particles. All particles moving in different directions and with different velocities. Therefore, here all the molecules are rest. So in a container, so if we take, suppose if we take some container, so in container all the molecules are rest and one of the molecule is moving or traveling with a velocity along the x-axis or along the length of the cylinder, isn't it? So therefore, if we take a cylinder here, where suppose the distance between the centers of two molecules is known as diameter of the molecule, isn't it? So here, so in this cylinder, see, average is the height of the cylinder or in which the molecules are moved, where d is the diameter of the moving molecule, which is equal to the radius here, where here the d is equal to the diameter of the moving molecule, isn't it? So therefore, here the molecule is collided with all the static molecules that lie within the cylinder, isn't it? That lie within the cylinder. So here there are number of particles are there. Suppose the moving molecule or a traveling molecule is collided with all the molecules that lie within the cylinder, isn't it? So this is the x-axis along the x direction, isn't it? So here d is the diameter of the moving molecule, which collided with all the molecules, and C average is the height of the cylinder or distance of the cylinder, isn't it, in which the molecules are lying, isn't it? So therefore here, so imagine a cylinder of radius d, which is equal to the radius of the cylinder and also equal to the diameter of the molecule, isn't it? So therefore here the number of collisions, the volume of the cylinder. So now we take with the volume of the cylinder. We know that in mathematics V is equal to volume of the cylinder is equal to pi r square h. Here, but r is, instead of r we have taken here d. Therefore, the volume of the cylinder in which the molecules lie. Therefore, V is equal to pi d square C average, isn't it? So this is the equation number 1. So this is known as the volume of the cylinder. So in this cylinder, so where C average is the mean velocities of the molecules or mean velocities of the molecules, isn't it? Average velocity of the molecules, isn't it? So then the number of molecules whose the number of molecules whose centers are included the cylinder. Here, therefore, that is equal to pi d square C average into n, where n is the number of molecules or number of molecules per unit volume. Number of molecules per unit volume are included. This is that means the number of collisions per second. The number of collisions, this gives equation 2 gives the number of collisions per second, isn't it? So therefore here the number of collisions per second and the distance in which they travel. So therefore that is known as free path equals pi d square C average divided by into n divided by C average divided by pi d square n into C average. So here C average represents the distance in which the number of collisions occur, and pi d square n C average is the number of collisions per second. So therefore here C average goes, and what is the remaining? Pi d square n, isn't it? So here lambda is equal to 1 divided by pi d square n. What is d square? Diameter of the molecule. N is the number of molecules per unit volume, and pi is a constant. Therefore lambda is directly proportional to 1 by d square, isn't it? How the mean free path varies if asked in any questions. So we can write lambda, that is mean free path is directly proportional to 1 by d square, square of the diameter, isn't it? So this is known as the Clausius equation. This is known as Clausius equation. Okay. And one more thing is we are going to express the square of the how the mean free path varies in another aspects, isn't it? And suppose we know that rho equals mn, rho equals mn, or n equals rho by m. So therefore now we can substitute instead of n, we can substitute lambda is equal to 1 by pi d square into rho by m, or lambda is equal to m divided by pi d square rho, isn't it? So here, so in these factors, m is a constant, pi is also a constant, and d square is also a constant. Therefore, lambda is directly proportional to 1 by rho. That is the mean free path varies inversely proportional to the density of the molecules. Density of the molecule. So this also equation. Here lambda is directly proportional to 1 by d square, and this is equation number 3, and this is equation number 4, isn't it? So there are two variables. One thing is lambda is directly proportional to square of the 1 by 2, 1 by square of the diameter of the molecules, and lambda proportional to or inversely proportional to density of the molecules, isn't it? So these are the Clausius equations. And one more thing, Maxwell's consideration. So for that Maxwell's consideration. Maxwell's consideration or Maxwell's equation. So in the earlier cases, that means in Clausius expression, we have thought that all the molecules were at rest, but one of the molecule is moving along the cylinder. But here we are going to consider in Maxwell's consideration. So all the molecules are moving along the cylinder, and also they are collided with all the molecules, isn't it? So therefore, so this is a big expression or large expression, but that is not included in the syllabus, but only expression is there. That's why I am going to write here only expression, isn't it? So therefore, lambda equals 1 by root 2 pi d square n. What is the Maxwell's formula? Where lambda is the average free path, pi is constant, and root 2 is also a constant, d square is the diameter of the square of the diameter of the molecules, n is the number of molecules per unit volume, isn't it? Where d is known as diameter of the molecules, and n is the number of molecules per unit volume, or number of particles per unit volume, isn't it? And therefore this is known as Maxwell's expression. Maxwell's expression. And another aspect, if we go for discussing, and we have to consider the temperature and pressure of the gas, isn't it? Mean free path varies in terms of mean free path. Varies. Effect of mean free path. Effect of mean free path in terms of pressure and temperature. Pressure and temperature. So according to perfect gas equation, we know that PV is equal to RT, where P is the pressure of the gas, V is the volume of the gas, and R is universal gas constant, T is absolute temperature. Pressure of the gas, P is pressure of the gas, V is known as volume of the gas, R is gas constant, and T is absolute temperature. Absolute temperature. And here we know that rho is equal to m by v, mass per unit volume. But we know that rho is equal to ml also. Here m is the atomic weight of the gases and v is volume of the gas. Isn't it? So therefore, here rho equals m equals ml, 1 by n into m. N into m. But PV, P is equal to, we can alter this equation, RT divided by V. P equals, R is equal to NA KT divided by V. So NA by V, here N is equal to NA by V. Isn't it? Or we can write like this, M is equal to Mn, rho is equal to, we can consider Mn is equal to Nm. Nm gets cancelled. Isn't it? Sorry. Rho is equal to M by V, M is equal to Mn. M equals MNA divided by V, or MNA divided by V, MM gets cancelled. Therefore, this gives N equals NA by V. So therefore, here we can substitute P equals N KT by N KT. P is equal to N KT, or N is equal to P by KT, or N is equal to P by KT. So that we can write like this. Isn't it? Pressure is equal to number of molecules in a volume, and K is known as the Boltzmann's constant, T is the absolute temperature, N equals P by KT. So this equation is used for substituting in this equation. We know that lambda is equal to 1 by root 2 pi d square into what is N? N is known as P into K. Isn't it? Lambda is equal to KT divided by root 2 pi d square into P. Isn't it? So therefore, lambda is equal to, where K is known as the Boltzmann's constant, T is the absolute temperature, root 2 is constant, pi is also a constant, d square is the diameter of the square of the diameter of the molecules, and P is known as the pressure variation. So therefore, here the mean prepar depends on temperature and directly proportional to the temperature and inversely proportional to the pressure of the gas. So therefore, this equation is used for calculations. Isn't it? Okay. And one more thing, I am going to tell you about effect of mean free path on viscosity of the gases. Viscosity of the gases. And we know that effect of mean free path effect of mean free path effect of mean free path on viscosity of gases. Viscosity of gases. So, dear students, so we have now the equation lambda is equal to 1 divided by root 2 pi d square L, and we know that rho equals mn, isn't it? Rho is equal to mn, and also we can retain this equation, but viscosity eta is equal to viscosity of the gases. So in further chapters we are going to discuss about the viscosity of the gases, and here 1 by 3 rho C average into gamma, isn't it? So this is known as the viscosity of the gas equation. So in further chapter, how we are going to derive this equation, I will explain clearly. Don't worry now about this equation. But so this equation can be used in the mean free paths. So here instead of lambda, we can substitute this equation, isn't it? So therefore, eta is equal to 1 by 3 rho C average. C average is equal to 1 divided by root 2 pi d square n, isn't it? So this is known as the complete equation. Here we can substitute also C average, where C average is known as the average velocity of all the molecules, and pi is a constant, and root 2 is also a constant, 1 by 3 is also a constant, d square is the diameter, square of the diameter of the molecules, and n is number of molecules per unit volume, isn't it? So this is the complete expression of viscosity of the gases. So in this way, the viscosity varies. Here it is directly proportional to the density of the gas molecules here, and also average velocity, and here d square L, it indirectly proportional or inversely proportional, isn't it? So therefore, now this is the complete expression of viscosity of the gases and also mean free path of the gases, isn't it? So these equations are very important for the examination point of view, isn't it? Okay. Now I will go to discuss about the Maxwell's distribution of velocities, isn't it? So Maxwell's distribution of velocities of a gas molecules, isn't it? So the gas molecules, the gas contains very large number of molecules. We know that. Now I am working the equations what we learned in earlier classes. I am going to rub all the details. Okay. Now we are going to discuss about the Maxwell's distribution of molecules. Maxwell's distribution of molecules. distribution of molecules of a gas. So here we know that the gas molecules which are traveling in all the directions with all possible velocities, that means they are moving in oppositely and incessantly in all directions. So here we know that the component velocities of the molecules. The component velocities of the molecules are given by U, V, W. Here U, V, W are the component velocities of the molecules in a cube, isn't it? So I am going to write the cube here. Suppose the molecules are traveling along the x-axis or y-axis or z-axis in any one of the coordinate axes. And here C is the velocity of the molecules. So this is the cube in which the molecules are traveling from face to face, isn't it? Suppose this is the face A and this is the face B. The molecules which are traveling from face A to face B or face B to face A in random direction or with random velocities, isn't it? And here is the component velocity of the molecules is given by along the three coordinate axis are U, V, W. U, V, W. Isn't it? So here is dW, here is the du, and here is the dv. Isn't it? So here du and dv and dw. du, dv, dw are the small distance from the reference, point of reference, isn't it? Small distance from the point of reference. And here, therefore, C square equals, we know that already we have discussed about this equation, C square is equal to U square plus V square plus W square. W square. The C square is the velocity of the molecule, total velocity of all the molecules, isn't it? U square plus V square plus W square, equation number 1. And we know that here dN is the number of molecules that lie within the cube, according to Maxwell's equation. Within the cube means that is C and C plus DC. C and C plus DC in which they are lying, isn't it? So therefore, here total number of molecules, where N represents the total number of molecules into M by 2 pi kT power 3 by 2 e to the power of minus exponential minus m divided by 2 kT into u square plus v square plus w square into du, dv, dw, isn't it? du, dv, dw, isn't it? Therefore, so here du, dv, dw are the volume element, and m divided by m is the mass of the molecules, and k is the Boltzmann's constant, and I am going to write clearly about the terms. N is the total number of molecules that lie within the range minus infinity to plus infinity, isn't it? And here M is the mass of the molecule. Mass of the molecules. And K is known as the Boltzmann's constant. And T is the absolute temperature. Temperature of the gas. Absolute temperature of the gas. And what is remaining? And C square. C square is equal to U square plus V square plus W square is the velocity of the molecules. Total velocity. Total velocity of the molecules within the container. And du, dw, du, dv and dw. du, dv, dw are the volume element. Volume element, isn't it? Okay. And dn is the total number of molecules or molecules that lie within the C and C plus dc. And here the molecules that contain within the U and U plus du and D and here W plus W plus dw. Here dv represents, that is the molecules within the range V and V plus dv, isn't it? So these are the three component velocities, isn't it? Okay. So next we are going to discuss about the equation, Maxwell's distribution equation. dn is equal to L into m by 2 pi kt power 3 by 2 e to the power of minus m by 2 pi kt into u square v square plus w square du dv dw, isn't it? And one more thing, here dn represents the total number of molecules within the range C and C plus dc, isn't it? So therefore we can consider this volume. There are two concentric rings here in which the number of molecules can be like, isn't it? Where C is the volume and C plus dc is also the volume, isn't it? There are two volumes and we know that there are two concentric rings here, concentric rings. So here this is the width and C plus dc is the width of the ring, and here C is the ring, isn't it? So therefore in which the gas molecules lie. So therefore we are going to calculate the volume of the gases. V equals 4 by 3 pi r cube. R is known as, here R is the radius. Instead of radius we have taken C and C plus dc, isn't it? C is for inner volume and C plus dc is the outer volume, isn't it? Therefore C plus dc whole cube minus C whole cube, isn't it? Or C cube. So according to, for this term we are going to solve or simplify a plus b whole cube equals a cube plus b cube plus 3a square b plus 3b square a. So we can use this formula to simplify this. So therefore V is equal to 4 by 3 pi into A cube means C cube plus BC cube plus 3C cube 3A square C square BC plus 3BC square C, isn't it? Minus C cube. We have written as it is. And here C cube will be cancelled, and DC cube is also cancelled because it is neglected, because it is a very small quantity, that's why we can neglect. And 3D square C square DC and 3D square, and here D square CC is also very small, that's why V is equal to 4 by 3 pi into 3C square DC, isn't it? Here 3D square DC, here 3 gets cancelled again, and what is the remaining? 4 pi C square DC. So 4 pi C square DC, instead of volume element, we can substitute directly 4 pi C square DC in this equation, isn't it? So what is the Maxwell's original equation? And I am going to rub this equation, rub the diagram, and now I am going to write the original equation. dl is the number of molecules that contained in the volume or in a cylinder or in a system. M by 2 pi kT power 3 by 2 into e to the power of minus m. What is u square v square plus c square is equal to c square divided by 2 kT. 2 kT into du dv dw. What do we do now? So here into 4 pi c square dc. So this is known as the Maxwell's equation. Maxwell's equation. What is n and what is m, what is k and what is t, all that I have written here. C square is also, C square is the total velocity of the component molecules along the 3 coordinate axis. DC is the that lie within the C and C plus DC, isn't it? So therefore this equation is used for calculations in further chapters, isn't it? So this is the very important equation. That's why we have discussed here, and we have to learn very well this equation. Let us stop here. Tomorrow I will continue. Okay? Thank you, one and all.